Today is December 26th, and what I'm doing here is recording some gravitational waves. I was given a tape not too long ago by Bill Jenkins, and the tape involves some sounds of some spacecrafts, so I thought I might delve into the audio end of it. And what you're seeing on this scope right now is a gravitational wave tuner picking up gravitational waves. Now we can adjust frequencies of this tuner as we go along, but I'm going to give you a picture of this tuner and how simple it is to make. This is basically the tuner right here. It doesn't consist of much of anything. A couple of ICs and a capacitor and a feedback loop control. And basically what happens is the gravitational waves passing by this, so we can get it here. The gravitational waves passing by this capacitor right here induces a charge, and the IC is at virtual ground, so the gain's real high, somewhere around 5,000 or 10,000. And then it's got two stages, a buffered stage and an amplifying stage, which lets it go out to the audio amplifier. So let's go up here and get on the scope, and we'll get some sounds from this thing. Now this is basically the output of the gravitational tuner. We'll slow it down a little bit so you can see it run through. And that's as the gravitational waves come through. You can see sometimes they're bigger and sometimes they're smaller. So let's get it to where we can get a pretty good picture of it so you can see it there. Now let's listen to the sounds it makes, and what I'll do after this is I'll run through some frequencies and record the sounds while the picture's on the scope. Lowest frequency that I want to take it down to, and if I go over here and change the feedback loop control, well, it'll go up. And notice now that we're catching a different type of gravitational wave there. Now let's change the loop once again. Now to give you an example of what can be done with a gravitational wave tuner, you hear this one particular frequency right now, and I'm going to transmit. A very simple signal to it. And that means anything I do in the gravitational field, I can transmit, and this tuner will pick it up. So let me just go over here. And in fact, I'll stand right here, and I'll transmit to it. And you watch what happens. See? So all I have to do is disrupt the gravitational field or put a signal on it, and it's instantly there. I'll walk around the room and transmit to it. See, my signal's there. Let me change the frequency now to a higher one, and I'll still modulate that way. And I'll always get the same boing no matter what, because how I'm transmitting this I don't care to disclose right now. My frequency is cut here to go on the gravitational wave and transmit this signal. And you can see then my wave goes up over there and the gravitational tuner picks it up. Now, let's lower the frequency. And let's transmit to it again. Now I'm going to walk quite a distance away from it just to show you that if you use the gravitational wave to do the transmitting, there's no loss of power. Now I'm back here in the back. So anything I do with my little transmitter here is not affected by the link. And you can see that the gravitational tuner still picks it up. Now I'm in the back of the room back here, and I'm still going to modulate this gravity wave. Quite easily done to modulate the gravitational wave and use it as a tuner, as a gravitational receiver, and it's quite easy to make a gravitational transmitter. So let's change the frequency and look at those waves a little bit. And basically, Wendell, this is for you to show you that the spacecraft on the Billy Myers thing was actually generating these frequencies. And you can see if we tune it, that now we're speeding that frequency up. But we're also capturing different frequencies here. So let's lower it down to like where it sounds pretty good. And look at those tones that are coming through. Now let's open it up so you can see how this is actually being done. by the use of gravity waves, they're waves inside waves. And you see there's waves inside waves here. And when I modulate this gravity wave through a very simple mechanism, this is what happens to the waves. Notice that that's a very powerful little transmission there. And you notice that when you modulate those waves, they go this way. So now let's go back and let's change the frequency here. And now see, it's much lower in tone. But it's that same exact sound that Billy Myers recorded on the beam ship. Let's bring it down to approximate sound. And let's back up so you can see these modulate through. So we're totally surrounded by this energy. It's just that we have not figured out a way to get it yet, but we're working on it. You can see they come in waves, some bigger, some smaller. Let's change the frequency that we're detecting. Now these are pretty big ones in this range. Let's slow it down again. And let's go look at it wide open now. So you can see that they're there, and they're constantly there. And that's what causes that sound. This should be a pretty good picture window for you of what's actually making that sound. Now I was asked to analyze the sound, and I remember doing some experiments with gravitational wave tuners, and this sound was always there. Let's bring it back. And according to some astrophysicists, this is astronomical events taking place. Star quakes, supernovas, but it's an energy that's being transmitted out there, and it seems to surround us. And let's change the frequency of this event again. I want to make sure I got you in focus here. Take the brightness down a little bit. Might look a little better there. Let's go back and look at the waveforms again. Now let's go back and look at the pulses. You can see some pretty big ones come through there. They're pretty big gravitational waves, and they're very easy to modulate. And let's change the frequency now of detection. have a look at those waves. You can see there are waves within waves here. And we'll change the event again. Now you can see that it's going a little bit faster there. Sort of like it hits a resonant spot where the energy is the strongest. Now let's go back and look at the event. And you can see they come through in different patches once again. Now there may be a better picture to show you that they go up and down. And let's change the event over there once again by frequency. So we'll listen to something else there. Now you can see once again the waves are tuning to a different event, much bigger ones. Let's open that up. And what this represents is as if there was a boat on the ocean. That's the rocking motion that you detect. You can see that they're big and they're small. It's like being on the ocean in a boat. And this is the exact sound that these events make. Now let's change the event. And once again the waves change. Now I'm going to put you on pause for a minute, and I'm going to connect a big meter up there so that you can see the magnitude of these quakes, or this energy that surrounds us. Now I've sort of changed the pitch here, and I'm going to get the full meter in view to show you that the waves are there, and the meter is indicating the level of these waves coming through. And we'll change the pitch. And notice that the meter is not registering very big ones right now, but every once in a while a big one comes through. So let's change the resonant frequency of what we want to listen to. You see every once in a while that meter just boings right over there. Those are pretty big quakes. And they're at a much lower frequency. Let's look at those as they move. So we'll spread out the scope once again. And that's once again quite a few frequencies in there. See? Every once in a while a great big one will come through there and just send that meter wacko. And they have the capability of absolutely reversing phase and going the other direction. So now let's change the pitch once again to lower. And look at this as an astronomical event here. You can see they can get pretty big there. That it's quite capable, if you built an antenna system tuned to this particular frequency and you were to capture this and amplify this, you could run motors and lights and all kinds of things if you were to sort of zero this energy out when it shifts phase there. Let's change the frequency once again. Now we're actually listening to things higher up where there's not as much activity, but every once in a while a big burst of energy will come through, almost like as if you were in swells in the ocean there. So let's look at it this way. See it come through there in great big swells. And it seems to be more active in the nighttime than in the daytime. Once again, I'm going to change this for you. And there's not much activity way up there. But down here, change this again. And we'll listen up here for a while. We'll lower the frequency again. down in this range that there's heavy activity going on. By the meter indication and the pulses that come through the scope. Spread that out. Once again, they're waves within waves. And they're actually shifting phase. And this is what they look like slowed down as the energy comes through. Change the frequency for you again. So from low to high. Low. Now get the level up so you can hear a little better. We'll go down. Now we'll go up high. And all that's doing is just tuning the gravitational tuner. So now we'll hit resonance. Where the most energy is. We'll look at it once again. You can see all the waves within waves. Some bursts. Now when that goes high, remember that there's some transmission going on there. Because if I do this again, we lower this down, spread it out, so we can get a picture. If I go and make that transmission, you'll notice that will go high again. So I'll do that. exactly what the transmission would sound like before the voice communications took place. You would hear that beep, which is there instantly. See, something's coming through there. Let's change the frequency just a little bit. Well, look at these waves again, what they're doing. And their intensity comes in bursts this way, amplitude-wise. Let's make it as big as we can. You see there's another wave riding in within a wave there. Now let's change this frequency a bit the other direction, and we'll sort of scan this area. See, when the meter goes way over the other direction, it flips phase. Almost as if there's some telemetry on there. Let's slow it down again. get a better picture of this as the waves come through. That's a pretty big one. Put you on pause while I make one other hookup. Hook up a very small monitor. Once again, you can see that the waves are there. And I want you to see the monitor, what's happening to this television monitor. I'll take down the brightness a little bit. See, there's no control on the brightness at all. And we can change the frequency over here on the tuner and watch what the video screen does. And by doing that, there's a sound being modulated right out of the picture tube the same way that you heard over the speakers. And those are the gravitational waves making that screen flicker like that. Now if I once again go over here and hit this, make this transmitter transmit one time, you watch the screen. See, I can almost get it to hold steady when I transmit to it. So that's an indication that you can make transmissions on gravitational waves and stuff. And also you can monitor them. And let's go back up to the scope and go back to the audio. Now I'm going to transmit one more time. And you watch that pointer up there when I transmit. It just smacks right over there with tremendous power. And the waves also do the same thing. Let's go back and get an audio signal. And we're in that frequency range now. So let's come down. We'll do this one more time for you. And now we'll go up in frequency. Notice that these waves always stay the same. All we're doing is picking a different event that's happening within the wave. I'm going to look at that again. So these are all events taking place within waves. And all we're doing is picking one that we want to look at. Let's go down a little lower. Now we've actually picked some bigger events here. So I thought you might find that interesting, and I'm going to sign off now because it's kind of late.
There you go.
Flight suites worked. The other thing that got me in trouble with flight suite was the G field, the gravity wave converter, as we call it. John Sajeka had a name for it. He said it was apart from a spaceship. Don't you know that, John? They left that behind. And I said to myself, well, they left you behind too, but because I never looked at it that way, you know. I just said, oh, this is very interesting. You know, you load it down, you short it out, it speeds up. You do all these different things with it. It likes a big high impedance load, and in a low impedance load, it just runs away wild, just keeps going. Look, the current goes down, it must be free energy. Look, I'm generating power and the current's going down in the front battery. I have a free energy machine. No, you don't. You are fooling yourself. Energy is going to come from things that come from space itself, from the energy, the plasma field in space. That's where you're going to get your free energy. That's exactly, you're going to have to develop some kind of semiconductive material that acts like an energy dam. And you're going to have to be able to build the charge up and bleed that charge off at a certain rate. And that's the way you're going to get your energy. Or you're going to develop a new type of fuel that just confounds everybody. But for one moment in time, don't think that it won't be done, because it will be, because anything you can think of, you can do. You know, just put your mind to it. Oh, you want to build that machine, you can build it. But that's only because you got these. And so, what, go ahead. You got your hands. And you can think, you know, you can think, yeah, a computer might say, oh, that's just a big zero. You, on the other hand, may say, I see a number in that zero. And I don't care if it's negative 5 million. Because that's the other end. Positive end's one end, negative end's the other end. So, anyway, Anyway, yes, guys, it can be done. The batteries can recharge themselves, except there's one problem. The battery doesn't last. It can't keep taking that. Now, you notice it's getting brighter. It keeps getting brighter. And the beat keeps changing. Kind of hard to hear, but it's there.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, as the electromagnetic field changes, as the Earth moves from light to dark, and the moon goes this way, now I'm getting you, right? Now you're thinking I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. But that's not true. Not yet. But as it changes, it affects the fields that things work in, and that can be measured. And there's a lot of people that do that all the time. I think you got Eric Dollard here, he does it. He measures those fields. You've got other people that are taking measurements all day long. You've got people that are studying gravitational waves. Now, what's a gravitational wave? When somebody says, oh, I made a gravitational tuner. Could it be what they're actually looking at is what they call shot noise? Popcorn noise, you ever heard the terms? Okay, when you make a semiconductor, you lay down this lattice and you dope it, and then you add where the emitter is going to be, and the collector, of course, is the substrate. And you turn around and you measure that transistor and you say to yourself, oh, it's noisy. You look real close, you will see this fine, fine, fine noise.
Yes.
And audiophiles always say, I can hear it. Really, they can't hear it, but they say they can hear it. And it sort of is like, if you were to listen to the noise, it would be like an oscillation that's ringing. That's what it would sound like. So every once in a while you get an electrical circuit in one of these amplifiers or something like that, and you see something strange occur. You see it go into a self-oscillation, and of course we'd like to get all that out of the circuits, because that means in the middle of the night, if you leave your amplifier on, right, what's going to happen is this thing's going to oscillate, and then the output transistors are going to go, bye. And that's why your amplifier burns out in the middle of the night. Because something happens where some noise develops that's at a very high frequency that the devices cannot handle. So what do? They turn themselves on full. And they cross-conduct. And the minute they cross-conduct, poof. So these little things that are noises, by the way, are all inspired by gravity. There's a noise that can be detected, right? And it usually is found in semiconductors. And so you got people on the internet going, I just built a gravitational wave tuner. And you say, okay, what's it detecting? Well, I don't know, but here's a signal. And so an audio guy might know this. Say, oh, shot noise, popcorn noise. You need to find a device that's quieter, right? So that's why they keep changing things. That's why they try to use effects now, right? They want that noise way down. They want the noise floor way down. And when they had germanium transistors, you had much more of a possibility of discovering this than what you have with a silicon transistor. Moray was an example. What did Moray actually build? What did he actually dope it with? Did he use radium? Of course. Can you paint the antenna, you know, an antenna wire with radium paint? Yeah. Can you gain signal strength? Yeah. These are all things that we can use that unfortunately are taken away because people abuse them. You can't paint a watch dial and suck on the brush at the same time because you're going to go lunatic. You're going to become a lunatic. You know, and then they're going to give you radium water to drink. They've done all this. So it's a little bit of history about these machines. And I'm going to tell you, I'm telling you where the free energy is going to come from. It's going to come from when you develop this device that can detect it, its noise or whatever it is, rectify it, and give you what you call this, electricity. Otherwise it's unknown. It'll be unknown. Because plasma, what can you do with that? I can't box it up and bring it to you and say, here, hack this plasma ball into my computer and it's gonna run. Because it's not gonna run. It's a different form of energy. So when I said to you, I am using one form of energy on the input of the machine and another form of energy, which is a transformation of that, on the output of the machine. That's what I meant. Okay, can you charge a battery with a spike?